are manipulated. Okay, go back to last week. If the Chinese, if the Oriental population are getting so much attention last week, and this is the first time you see them, they're standing up like black people and Latinos. We want, hey man, okay. They prized, I don't want to call it prize, but the most accepted or American immigrant are Orientals and Indians. Dr. Gupta, God, that's all you see, right? It's okay, I mean, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the Indians are running neck and neck with the Orientals. I mean, I don't know if anybody remember the statistics from the 80s and the 90s. They wanted to call it, you see, Berkeley, the Chinese, you're not a minority anymore. In fact, we're gonna have you, they considered them as the majority, because all of them, all they did, study all day, right? Going along with that, China pulled the most strategic, brilliant, technical and economic move in history on the Europeans. It just made them look like a bunch of damn fools. Because they said in the 80s, transfer of technology, you can come over here and put your businesses here, but you gotta bring the technology with you. They don't do that anywhere else. Africa, for cars in Latin America, assemble. They send the cars down there, already made in pieces, and they assemble them down there. I mean, they put the pieces together. China didn't have that. It was all, you're gonna bring the technology with you. You can do anything you want here, which you can do. Long story short, the Chinese slipped up on them, and when they looked up, and they're still just in a state of shock. They're in a state of shock. In America, highways are falling apart. Look at the skyline of New York and look at the skyline of Chinese cities. All big new glass bubbles, they got all kind of shapes and forms. Streets, just as clean as they can. And they even getting rid of the smoke, I'm telling you. I'm not pro-Chinese, I'm just telling you, you can see it yourself. Well, I like German Mao, but I mean, there's no sense in it, So anyway, and how they lie on the Chinese, if you watch some of the Chinese programs, what the Chinese themselves say about Uyghurs and all of that, right? They said the place is rolling. I know the population is double. Everybody, when they go there, they say, man, this is all right. When you see programs from there, they say it's all right. Okay, here's the thing about the U.S. The United States have lost the battle for this period of time. And everybody know it. We've been listening to Kishu, Mubabani, all those people. The Americans have wasted their whole thing. Number one, they attack everybody in the world. They're the ones who got the war in Afghanistan. They're the ones attacked Iraq. They're the ones supporting Saudi Arabia to deal with Yemen. They're the ones that went in and tried to shot 59 missiles at Syria, right? They're the ones that have done all of that. Chinese, oh, we don't know, we don't do that. But Chinese is not the laundry man no more. Chinese is not the laundry man no more. You can see it. Have anybody been paying attention to the news and their attitude? Oh no, homeboy. Not this time, I'm sorry. Hey, you ain't got no right. Who are you talking to? That's the way that's their exact attitude. That's their attitude. And then you have never seen Chinese, Koreans in America hardly at any demonstrations against America. They're happy to be here. No problem. So what is it? They had to have a disastrous program. Somebody had to do something to them, right?
Right, yeah.
No, they have to, they're acting totally out of accord with their historic. Think about it. Think about who haven't you not seen at demonstrations in America over the last, I don't know when.
It's funny, you didn't start seeing them until you saw a few at the Trump joint on the 6th of January. You saw some Asians supported Trump, and that was the first time that you even read. Why are they supporting Trump?
Well, you got to remember that they have been the choice. They're the flag waving. They're the ideal immigrant.
Right.
Indians and Asian and Chinese. Well, when I say China, I mean Koreans and all that. Those areas, all the people who come from Asia are mostly very pro-American, even Filipinos. And Filipino used to be, the health workers that come here, Filipinos. The care for the aged, Filipinos, right? When I was young, all the books called the Philippine colonies, because until 1946 they were classified as a colony. Although the people that fought them harder wrapped themselves up tight with that silk cloth where they wouldn't bleed much. That's why they developed the .45 automatic, to stop Filipinos. See, up to them, 1911 when they came out with the .45 automatic, yes, to stop Filipinos. Because the Muslims wrapping themselves up and coming at these boys, and it worked. It scared them to death. But anyway, the point is, let's look at America right now. America has lost all semblance of reality. It took its ideal immigrant and made him a pariah. You know, they don't realize the Chinese have always been fighting that syndrome. You could see it with Bruce Lee. What's the other recent guys? Jet Li, all of them. They tell you that, no, this is what, see, because they suffered a big humiliation. Starting in 1839 and 40, the Opium War, they dismembered China. So until Chairman Mao took it all back, the Chinese have been working on rebuilding their self-esteem, and they got it now. And they were slow to come out. I want you to realize that they could have came out a long time ago, talking out of the side of their mouth. But the U.S. forced it out of them. And it's not only we're observing this, the whole world know what we're talking about now. And remember now, when you get the Chinese, Japanese, all kind of eyed people, you didn't blew it. You didn't blew your base. Hey, they might have hated Negroes. Chinese, sell your food. Try to marry a Chinese girl, see what happens. Good God Almighty.
Yeah, I've heard the stories of friends.
Good God Almighty. Koreans, it was two sisters. It was a sister and a brother, both of them modern in LA. The sister married a big Wall Street guy, and she's a big Wall Street Korean lady. Family just thought this on. Now the brother's from here too, and he know what's going on, but he ain't married nobody. Oh, excuse me? You can marry a white girl. Over 55% of Orientals marry out of the. You could marry somebody. It's like Iranians. You could bring, this is back in the day, you could bring a big, greasy, lard, strong white girl back to Iran. A couple of the brothers here, right here in D.C., brought the tenderest Negro girls back there, and they was calling them monkeys and everything. Oh man, it's sad. It's just sad. I went through the transition myself. Just a quick story. When I got to Iran in maybe 89 or 90, something like that, the brother said, okay, Imam Musa, you've been hustling. That group, you have been dedicated. You haven't had no time to rest. We've been keeping you busy. The ones went back for all this time. You don't have no wife. You don't have all us either married or getting married. No excuse. We got virgins, martyrs' wives, whatever. So take your pick. What do you want to do? I said, man, I'm still busy. He said, no. We'll take your passport. They was just jiving, of course. You're not going to leave until, you know. So I went through the whole thing. And this family, when we went down to Bandar Abbas, that's where I saw all the Negroes. If it would have been somewhere else, it might have been different. I could look through the stained glass windows and I would see eyes looking. They was look. Everywhere I went, and they cleaned out one big house, and the guy who was taking me around was her brother. He was one of them, not a frog man, but Revolutionary Guard on the water. Everybody was on, and the lady was maybe 28 years old or something. So one of my best friends was thinking about marrying her. That's why he said this is a perfect lady for him, for me. I said, why you didn't marry her? He said, well, she's 28 and I'm somewhere like, I said, man, y'all really got this stuff. But she was 28, because I was 50 or 40 something, way back up in the 40s. So everything was perfect. Then things started falling apart a little bit. It was her father. See, everybody was revolutionaries except her father was from the whole school. In fact, he was one of the richest men down there. And then the ulama got involved, and they would be saying, take it easy, we're going to make sure it's all right, don't worry about that. I wasn't saying it don't make me no difference, but technically, I wanted to get back here and get busy, you know, stay busy. But I've been over there several months, and, you know, anyway, long story short, I got to learn all the customs about marriage. I said, man, how do y'all ever get married over here? You know, all the steps they go through, then the ceremony, they got all kind of mirrors and shiny stuff and fish. I don't know if you ever seen it. Boy, I said, man. So I said, well, what's so important about this? Is it just right for you? I said, why do you think Father's going to approve for me? He said, well, they got another daughter. She's married to a German. Yeah, it's quite the course. I said, but, you know, maybe y'all don't get it yet. Now, this is what taught me the levels about the old Persians. They thought they were superior to blacks. All the revolutionaries and the younger people was pushing this, including the mama. Her sister, this lady's sister, the guy that was married to the other guy's lady's sister, everybody was pushing this. And then when I talked to the father, I talked to him about business because he's the biggest businessman down there. So I let him know I understand the process, and it didn't go off. And finally, it just came out. He told his friends, I'm not gonna let my daughter marry a black man because they'll think, what's wrong with your daughter? The other guys said, this guy's the most revolutionary guy in America. He's this, he's that, he's the most intelligent guy we've ever met. You should hear him talk, all of that stuff. He said, no. Now, all people of a certain age have that. So, Koreans and Negroes, you should have saw those Korean stores in LA. You ever seen the pictures of all them AR-15s they had in their store during the 92?
Oh, no, I never.
Oh my goodness. They wasn't calling the police on nobody. They just gonna Korean your behind. You come in here and take something, or set it on fire. I mean, they had the walls lined. They had Korean, not Korean troops, but it was unbelievable.
Korean militia.
Man alive. Because this is their stuff. They're gonna protect their stuff. Okay. The people that were attacked recently in California were by black people.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, some of the people are ignorant and they're not accustomed to coalitions and what all that means.
Right.
And you never know, it might have been the white man had them attack. I would never put it past him. Would you turn the heat on just a pinch? It ain't that chilly, but just a pinch. So the point I'm making right here, right now, in the period we're in, the Oriental community was getting plenty of attention last week, up till a few days ago. Every time that happens, all of a sudden we have a shooting in the market in Colorado, right? And no more, I don't say no more, but have you noticed how it dropped off the headline? There's a little bit about Atlanta, a little bit about, but if it's 2 from Atlanta and all that, it's 8 from Colorado. Wipe it out. That's America for you. That's control of the headlines. That's control of the flow. They wouldn't want all the relatives and everybody looking. First of all, there's confrontation in the media. In Alaska, everywhere. Thucydides trap, all of that stuff is going on. And everybody got their eye open. And the world is watching. And the U.S. has technically lost all of that footing. They're losing that fight. So now, the Chinese, they're standing up and they're right at the top of the thing, and then all of a sudden, a shooting, a killing, and that police must be the nicest police in world history. He's got 7 children, you hear his daughter, oh, he was so nice, right? I don't know if y'all hear, I was just, yeah, right? Good God, this was Saint Police. Yeah, Officer Saint somebody. Right? Tell the truth. Have y'all been paying attention to that? Huh?
Not to that extent.
I mean, I didn't think anything of it because, you know, they always glorify, to a certain degree, law enforcement, you know, like
Yeah, but this one is law enforcement plus.
plus, okay. I hadn't picked it up.
No.
Picked it up.
His daughter was on there, and he's such a nice man. Oh, right. And don't overlook police killing other police.
Right.
No, if they say we're gonna get friends for 1,000 police, then we have to kill one. That's Congress, that's anybody, they do that, you know.
I did take notice on how they made sure that if this is a new policy, to name all the names of the victims. I said, this is, you know,
Yeah, they
this
don't
is
usually do that.
interesting.
Yeah.
They made it a special, you know, effort,
Right.
you know, for the police chief to do it too.
Yes. What about the people in Atlanta?
No, I didn't hear that.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They had to take, that thing up there was to take one thing off the media.
Right.
They got too much, the Orientals, they never complain about being here. They're just fine, right?
Right.
No problema. And all of a sudden they in the street. And they getting top billing. The next day, you get a killing up there. I'm telling you, we know that the media is controlled. We know that Alex Jones and them is the one that give them a hammer to beat all the conspiracy theories because he's talking about all them children didn't get killed. He's saying no to something that everybody, look, they got children, it's insanity, right? So he give them a weapon to beat the conspiracy theory. Old Alex Jones, yeah, he's their man. You could tell from Jump Street. At least we could. The people are not very clever. They're not taking this like it is. You know, it's systematic. Chinese are winning. America is losing. The Chinese have built and rode it. I'm telling you, a ship turned over in the Suez Canal yesterday, day before yesterday, and blocked up the whole Suez Canal. Huh? Wonder who's coming through, whose ships are coming through there. They're clearing it away now. But if you block up all them ships coming through, if you got